needed it like.
Sports Talk TV right here, talking about the Green Bay Packers and the upcoming season. What they're going to do. The Green Bay Packers last season started out slow. Started off the season 4-6. Then they won 8 straight. They caught on fire. Led by MVP candidate Aaron Rodgers, and then they lost the NFC Championship by a lot against the Atlanta Falcons. But this year, I have a really good feeling about the Green Bay Packers. I think the Green Bay Packers have gone better than last season. Sure, they got rid of some people like Julius Peppers and Jared Cook, but I think that they've got some players like Martellus Bennett and a couple of pieces more to help with their team. So without further ado, let's talk about the Green Bay Packers. You already know how this goes. I'll give you my strengths and weaknesses of this roster, then my fantasy outlook, then my bold predictions, and then my win-loss prediction. Then we will get out of here. Sounds like a good plan? All right. Let's start with the strengths first. Quarterbacks. Of course, we already know Aaron Rodgers, MVP candidate, might win it this year. I like Aaron Rodgers. I think he's probably the best quarterback in the NFL, or at least tied with it. This guy always plays good every year. He always does what it takes to help his team. And I like Aaron Rodgers. But I like this quarterback depth. Brett Hundley is starting to grow and mature, start to become a good quarterback, and he gets along with Mike McCarthy and them. And I like Brett Hundley. He also drafted Taysom Hill, I believe, in the second round, or he went undrafted from BYU. BYU has a decent pick, and Joe Callahan, who does good in the preseason. I like his quarterback depth by the Green Bay Packers. I think he's a strength, and he's gonna help more. Another strength, what helps them is the offensive line. The offensive line is a strength. The offensive line has always been good for the Green Bay Packers, even though they got rid of Josh Sutton last year. They got rid of some good new pieces of the offensive line, but if you know Mike McCarthy always likes to have a good offensive line. He always does. And I like this offensive line by the Green Bay Packers. David Bakhtiari had a great season. Don Barkley had a great season. Brian Bulaga I mean, Brian Bulaga had an alright season. I expect to do more. Jahari Evans, and yeah, man, and I like Lucas Patrick. I like this offensive line by the Green Bay Packers. And what makes Aaron Rodgers great, and they do a great job of protecting the quarterbacks. Another strength is the defensive line. The defensive line, I think that they've done better. Sure, they got rid of Julius Peppers. That was a huge. But they replaced it with Ricky Jean-Francois, Latroy Guan. I don't know. I also got Mike Daniels and Nick Perry and Clay Matthews. I like this defensive line. It's a strength to me. The secondary is also a strength. The secondary got banged up in the NFC Championship against the Atlanta Falcons, which I thought was huge. If they were healthy 100%, they probably would have won that game. But it's alright. I do like this secondary a lot. It's basically the same secondary, but they still have like Morgan Brunette, HaHa Clinton-Dix, Dimitri Goodson, Ladarius Gunter, and many more on this Green Bay Packers secondary. I like this secondary of the Green Bay Packers. Let's go to the weaknesses. The running backs is a weakness to me. And this might be a little strange just because of Ty Montgomery. Look, Ty Montgomery is good. You translated him from the wide receiver position to the running back position, and it worked out perfectly. I think he's going to have another good season and probably a great season. But that's all you got. Like Aaron Ripkowski, no, and a bunch of random people. Aaron Jones out of Florida. Like this running back core is in depth. It's not good except for Ty Montgomery. I have to put it as a weakness. And shockingly, that might be your only weakness. I mean, the linebacking is all right. with Blake Martinez and Clay Matthews and Nick Perry and Jake Ryan and Joe Thomas. But it could also be a weakness because I was impressed by the linebacking core last season. The linebacking core was the reason why they went 4-6, but they started to step up like a couple players did on the coverage. But I still think they're lacking on the coverage of this linebacking core, and better watch out for that. But I just put it as a weakness. But I mean, but it could be a strength because there's you basically have the same players from last season and they could become better. But I don't think they'll do good against the coverage, and they might not do against the run. I don't know. I'll trust this linebacking core last season. You can probably trust them this season, but they could do bad. One thing I forgot is the receivers. The receivers is alright. It's between the strength and the weakness. You have like players like Randall Cobb, Jordy Nelson, and Devontae Adams, and you sign Martellus Bennett. That's a strength. But other than that, like I think the reason why the receivers are good is because of Aaron Rodgers and he always plays like MVP level. I always thought like that, but you Green Bay fans could probably prove me wrong, and that's fine. That's the point of this. I love to argue with people. So yeah, that's my strengths and weaknesses. Now let's look at my fantasy outlook. Aaron Rodgers last season had 40 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and 4,428 passing yards. I like Aaron Rodgers this season. He's going to be better. Is he going to have the best season of his career? He's going to have the second best. I think the 2015 when he threw 38 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and 1 MVP on that season. I think that was probably his best season of his career, but this could be his second. As wait for it, he's going to have 44 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and close to 5,000 yards. He is. I like Aaron Rodgers. He's going to be better. I understand he's turning 33 years old. He's getting old. But, it doesn't matter to me. I still think he's got fresh legs. And he, like I said, he always plays an MVP caliber level. But I think he's going to get better. I wouldn't say this probably was going to be the best season of his career, but it's going to be the second best. But I like Aaron Rodgers in this one. And probably you should too. Ty Montgomery is going to be coming out the best running back in this running back core. And last season he had, I believe, was it 6 touchdowns? I believe. He also plays receiver as well. But Ty Montgomery's gonna have 10 touchdowns and he's gonna have close to 900 rushing yards. I say he's most likely gonna play the receiving core as Mike McCarthy likes to shuffle things up on the running back core. I don't know why. But I expect Todd Montgomery to get more carries, but he's got more than 900 rushing yards. But that's what I have right now. He's got 10 touchdowns. Todd Montgomery is actually probably better as a running back than a wide receiver. I expect Randall Cobb to have an alright season. Last season he had 4 touchdowns, 610 receiving yards. He only played 10 games though. He did get injured a lot. I expect him to at least play 15. I think he's got to get healthy. He's got to have 900 yards. And he's got to have at least close to 8 touchdowns. At least. I would give him 6, maybe even 5. But, Randall Cobb I expect to be the best receiver out of this core. Also, you got Jordy Nelson and Martellus Bennett and Trevor Davis and Malachi Dupree and Lance Kendricks. But, this receiving core is pretty good. And I expect Randall Cobb to do even better. Also, this should be at least a top 5 offense. This should. This is a great offense right here with Aaron Rodgers, MVP Aaron Rodgers. And you also improve your receiving core, adding Martellus Bennett, Lance Kendricks. You still have Jordy Nelson and Randall Cobb and Devontae Adams. And you drafted Malachi Dupree and Trevor Davis. I could go on and on. But I expect this to be a top 5 offense. Ty Montgomery is pretty much going to carry the load since Eddie Lacy isn't there, nor is James Starks. But, I expect this to be a top 5 offense. Will it be top 3? I'm not so sure. I think it could be number 4, number 5. But, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So, let's take a look at my bold predictions. And, to be honest, I couldn't find any bold predictions. I really couldn't. No dirt, this team's going to win the NFC North. I'm predicting it right now, even though it's too early. The Green Bay Packers are going to win the NFC North. I think everybody knows that, so that would be one of my bold predictions because the Detroit Lions aren't going to be a threat this year. Vikings could be worse this year, and the Chicago Bears, like, come on. Come on. The Green Bay Packers are going to win the division this year, but no, that's not one of it. First bold prediction: Aaron Rodgers is going to win MVP. I don't see no way he can't. The guy's gonna. I think he's gonna. You should draft him in the fantasy football, by the way, and he's gonna have 44 touchdowns to 10 receptions. Boom, that's your MVP right there. Bold prediction number 2: the Green Bay Packers will be the number 1 seed in the NFC. Like I said, a top 5 offense, a great secondary, an alright linebacking core, and I would say a good, a alright defensive line. Also, I forgot about mention about BJ Raji. I think I really like the Green Bay Packers coming out of the NFC as the number 1 seed. I think that this team is probably better than Dallas. I don't think Dallas are not going to do good. They're having problems of their own, but that's interesting. And I think this team's probably going to be better than Atlanta. I think probably, but we'll get to that in a second. And I think this team's probably better than Seattle, Tampa Bay, Arizona. Who else is a good team? The Giants, New York Giants, Philadelphia. I expect this to be the number 1 seed in the NFC. This is a great team, a great offense, and an alright defense. I like the Green Bay Packers. Bold prediction number 3: the Green Bay Packers will be at the NFC Championship this year. Green Bay Packers gonna be the number 1 seed. They always do good at home in playoff games and sometimes on the road. But I expect this to be the NFC Championship. They might win the NFC Championship and go to the Super Bowl, but it's not gonna be easy though. Like they might verse Atlanta or Dallas or somebody, maybe even Seattle. But it's not going to be easy, but I expect them to be at the NFC Championship and maybe even win it and probably go to the Super Bowl. So those are my 3 bold predictions for the Green Bay Packers. Now let's look at this schedule. We're not going to go game by game because I already told you it's way too early to predict. We're just going to go by chunks, by divisions. Let's start with their own division, the NFC North. So you should expect to split with the Chicago Bears. I understand you want to sweep them. You're probably going to beat them in Lambeau. But going there, you do have some struggles at Soldier Field. I don't know why. You could have some struggles in which you also lose there as well. And I have a feeling you might lose there again this year. But you may not. But I'm not going to bet against it. You guys are going to sweep the Detroit Lions. It's going to be close like it was last year. It's going to be close. But I expect you guys to sweep there. And I expect you guys to split with the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings could beat you at Lambeau, and you could beat them at their home turf. But whatever happens, I expect a split. So with the total of that, if I do my math correctly, I expect you guys to be at least 4-2 at your own division, 5-1. But it could be a stretch, or 3-3 if the same thing happens as last season. Next, I believe you go up against who do you go up against? Oh, you go up against the NFC South, a tough division for you guys, a really tough division. You go at the Atlanta Falcons, which is probably game of the year, by the way. You go at the Carolina Panthers, and you host the New Orleans Saints. You host the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like I said, this is gonna be a tough division, but I'm probably gonna say 2-2, at least 2-2. You guys could go 1-3. Just because the NFC South has improved and it's going to be scrappy. 3-1 would probably be a stretch. 3-1 would probably be a stretch unless one of the teams like Atlanta or somebody F's up. But I expect you guys to go 2-2. 2-2 seems to be a safer bet. Next, you versus the AFC North. You go at the Pittsburgh Steelers, at the Cleveland Browns. You host the Baltimore Ravens. You host the Cincinnati Bengals. I expect you guys to go 3-1. I expect you guys to go 3-1, 4-0 if you guys are really that good, which you guys are. Don't get me wrong, but I expect 3-1. This is an easy division for you guys. Now and then you verse I believe the 2nd seed from the NFC West and the 2nd seed of the NFC East, which is the Dallas Cowboys and the Arizona Cardinals. Am I correct? Or the Seattle Seahawks? Hold on. Oh no, you won the division. Oh my God! Oh, I'm feeling so stupid right now. You won the division. Why do I feel like you went second? I don't know why. So you versus Seattle Seahawks. You host the Seattle Seahawks and you go at the road to the Dallas Cowboys. Wow. Well, okay, we'll just pretend that never happened. I'm not trying to edit. So you host the Seattle Seahawks and you go up the road to Dallas Cowboys. I can see a sweep here. I could. I really could. Because, week one hosting Seattle, that seems to be easy for you guys. As you guys always kill Seattle at Lambeau. And then you go at Dallas. You did last season. Why not do it this season? It's going to be tough. But, I'm going to predict a sweep right here. I'm going to predict a sweep. I think you guys are going to tear up Seattle in the first week, and you guys could go to Dallas and pick up a W right there. So, with all that said, if I get my math correctly, I have you guys going 11-5, which I think I probably do. But anyway, my prediction: I have you guys going 11-5, being the number one seed. Best case scenario, 13-3. As a best case scenario, like I said, one of the NFC South F's up, or you could possibly go 5-1 in your division. But 13-3, I could see this as a 13-3 team. Worst case scenario, 10-6. Of course, you guys are gonna make the playoffs. You're definitely gonna. I'd say 90% you're gonna make the playoffs. 90%. Last season I had some concerns, but 90% you guys are gonna make it to the playoffs. 10-6 seems like a good record for you guys. But all in all, man, I expect this to. I expect this. So I expect you guys to make the playoffs, obviously, and my bold prediction for you guys is to make the number one seed, be in the NFC Championship. I can see that right now. Like I said, Aaron Rodgers, MVP, quarterback led by this great offense. He's going to make everyone better around him, and he's going to put less time on the defense, maybe even more time. He's going to put less time on the defense, and the defense is always going to be there when they needed him. So, like I said, I love this Green Bay Packers going to this season. I really do. I'm not a huge Green Bay Packers fan, but this year I might cheer on you guys. I think this could be your year, and I think this could be your year to go to the Super Bowl. I don't know. Comment down below what you think about this Green Bay Packers upcoming season. What do you think of their offseason? I think their offseason was great. What do you think of their offseason? What do you think of their upcoming season? Leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe if you're new. Comment down below what do you think of me. Have a great day. It's getting lit. And yeah, and I'm out. This is Sports Talk TV and I'm out. Peace. Wow, that's about it. Outro.